Right, morning guys, welcome back to NZ Marko Outlaw Kustoms. So, where we're at, I've got a couple of sheets 800 in the way and an extra sheet of 600 just in case. Should be pretty right for everything else, I think. So we'll check these bolts to see what they're like, see whether these are still sticky or not. No, they're good. So we might attack this stuff first. Put those bolts and bits and pieces and put everything in and around that back, put the fuel tank back in and the spare wheel carrier. We might button all that stuff up, and then because that'll give the chance for the temperature to come up before I start putting my hands in cold water. Just because it's a nice wee frost, so yeah, we'll do that and then we'll start rinsing again. Right, so around the back, she's all together, apart from obviously tail light and fuel cap, and obviously a spare wheel on there, but the rest that's complete basically. So that's what the might see better here. So that's what those look like. And that's pretty much what those sort of look like, except they are a little bit more. Obviously the wash is a little thicker. It's got a bit of a round edge, and then this here kind of sits in it a little bit, but what do you do, you know? But yeah, so it's all on, all tightened up. Everything's all snugged up, tightened up, pulled up hard. So at some point I will have to go through and put split pins and all the suspension stuff, but I haven't done that yet, mainly because they don't have it on wheels and all that sort of stuff. I'd like to get it to basically close to full weight before we go around and do the last double check and tighten on all the suspension stuff, and then put all the pins through to make sure that everything is right. So that'll be one of the last things I go through, is just double check all those bolts are all tight, and anything that's meant to have a spring washer's got a spring washer on it and all that sort of bullshit, and then put all the split pins through, all that sort of stuff on the suspension. But yeah, this is all done now. So yeah, I gave this a quick buff up. I'd like to do it more, so just depending on what we do, whether we get some centre caps made and get the S machined into the centre caps, or whatever we do there, when we finally get to that point, we may pull this off and get that done at the same time, and then we'll give it a final clamp and a proper polish up. But I just gave it a quick buff. The way it was, I gave it a very light rub with some 400. I didn't take all the marks out, I just cleaned it up a little bit and then gave it a very light buff, so it had a little bit of sheen on it. So, but yeah, it looks good. I'm pretty happy. Be nice to give this thing a bloody good pressure wash and clean, but yeah, I'm pretty happy with that so far. So now I think we'll go back to wet sanding, and then yeah, we'll probably fit that stuff on, get it bolted up, get the that rubber bead stuff in there, and amongst that, yeah, and then we can carry on with something else. I would put this tail light and everything together, but we're going to get that, we're working on getting that glass made, so there's no point just rushing at that yet. Yeah, so we won't panic about that just quite yet. I could put it in, but there's no point putting it together if it's going to pull it apart again, so it's that. But yeah, so we'll get polishing. Right guys, so we've got these all wet sanded down with 3000. Just letting them dry off, and then we'll give them a wipe down, rinse down, whatever, and get them clean. And then we'll buff them up. Hopefully we might get these on the back of the car today, because I think we'll have to put the valances on first, I think, because they've got to go in here against the body first. I think the valances got to go on there first. Yeah, so I may have to put them on. We'll see. But yeah, we'll at least get these buffed up by, they should be ready to go on by probably lunchtime, hopefully, unless we have any issues. But yeah, so we'll get buffing, I think. Then we'll can dry it off, clean down, and then we'll get them buffed. Righty, so that was just one hit with the buffer. It's come out sweet. I might just, I don't know if I'll give it another, I might just give it another light one. And then I might do the edge, do this edge again when I get on the car, because it's a bit awkward to get past these to get a decent buff on that edge. So yeah, we might bolt on the car and then just gently run over that edge a couple of times and give it a, and then we've obviously got to go through and wax it and polish it and all that sort of bullshit properly anyway, you know what I mean? Not so much buff it, but once we've got it back together, we'll hand wax it and all that sort of crap and whatever. Right. Oh, we'll give that another buff and yeah, I think we'll get ourselves sorted out to probably put those balances on, I think, and give that side of the body a clean. Once we've given that another light buff, and I might just try and get into here one more time, maybe on both. It's a bit of an awkward place to get into. It's nice, but I think by the time I set another buff and whatever, another quick buff, and then maybe by the time we do a wax and whatever, that should be pretty good, I think. Now when we come to the final detailing, and we've got it all together, and we want to wax it all on the outside and give it a good wash and all that sort of bullshit. Righty, so I've pushed the car down and around the sort of chassis and underneath the wheel arches and sort of around those back springs a little bit. Turn the front around, hold on. Right, so yeah, I'm giving it a good wash down around here. Sorry, it's a bit dark. Give that a good wash and let that dry for a bit. It's kind of not, almost lunchtime, not quite. So you will let that dry, the ground dry. It won't take too long, I don't think. I've moved the fenders over here and just set them on a bit of an old sheet, so they're kind of out of the road in the meantime. So you're giving that a clean down. I've actually just noticed there's a couple frickin' little spot of frickin' primer there or something from some point. It's a bit of a pain, but yeah, you just want to touch those bits up the other day. I could have got that too if I realised it was there. I should have cleaned the whole frickin' chassis and done it. But anyway, I can touch that up at some point. But yeah, I think we're almost ready to put those on. I dragged them outside, put those stands outside, dragged them outside, gave them a good soaking. I sprayed them all with just soapy water for a start off to try and lift the dirt and shit off. They were covered up, but there was still a lot of dust and shit on them. And then I gave them a good rinse, wash down. I'll see what they look like when they dry, and I'll give them a bit of a wipe, and we'll just make sure that they are reasonably scratch free. I haven't scratched them or anything. If they do need a little bit, I might give them a light wet sand with about 3000, and then just give them another buff if I need before I throw them on. We'll see. But yeah, we're almost ready to put this stuff on. The only thing I'm thinking, I might make some reinforcing brackets for where the bolts go through everything. I might make some extra reinforcing brackets to go on here, so the bolts go through those, and then through this, then through the fenders and whatever, and then I might make another bracket to go on the inside maybe. I don't know, and I'll just rattle can them black, or whatever. I might even mix it, possibly just put a bit of texture spray. But we'll put them on there, we can just loosely bolt them up in the meantime, but I might make those just so it's a little bit more rigid and the bolts aren't pulling on individual spots. I'll make them out of that bit of that 3mm plate or something like that, just to really beef them up, because I did notice, I was looking underneath that thing in a few spots where the brackets are still there. There's quite a heavy bracket in the insides of some of those bits, which you don't see because everything was pulled off. So yeah, I might do that too. Even though I did reinforce these, I doubled these up and reinforced them. We might just make an extra bracket for in here as well. One for here and then just a shorter one for up here, just to beef it up, just so those bolts aren't pulling on individual spots. I think that's worth doing. So yeah, we'll get them loosely bolted up instead of half sneaked up, and then yeah, we might make those brackets, the next day or two. Quickly whip them up and clean them up and give them a quick sandblast in each and a coat of paint, and then they can go on. So yeah, I think it's worth doing. But anyway, I think I'll leave this stuff to dry, let the floor to dry, and then we'll give them a bit of a check over after lunch, I think. Yeah, we might put them on. I'm just trying to work out. I might just trying to think what I'm going to do here. I might have to pop a jack maybe underneath the body somewhere. Put that jack underneath the body and just lift it a touch. Just slip those underneath, and then we can put the welting in there and muck around and whatever and get them in. So yeah, cool bananas. Right, these were pretty almost dry, so I gave them a wipe down with a rag to dust them off and whatever, but I could still feel there was quite a bit of grit in them, so I just soaked them down again with spray bottle, and I got my 3000 pad and gave it a good soak, and I just give it a good rub, so we have to give them a very quick quick buff after lunch before we put them on. But yeah, I don't think it'll take much. I just didn't like the gritty feeling So yeah, we just gave them a good soak. Yeah, and 3,000 pad, just on by hand. Just give it a good rub for, I don't know, a couple of minutes each one, just lightly, just to make sure all the shit was cleaned off it. And yeah, we'll just give them a light buff after lunch. Alright, I think I've got a plan. I can't put it too much because it's anchored at the back. To this and this one. They join together, so I just need enough. We don't need much, just enough to crack the body at the front, basically, and just take a little bit of pressure off so we can slip the balance in and the bits and pieces and just crack enough so we can at least do that and get a couple of bolts in this and work out where we're going, I guess. Now we want to lay that strip in here and just work out how much we need, where the bolt holes are, and just work out at the half. Make it look nice.
Audio Jungle.
Yeah, so we're at this point. Obviously not bolted up tight anywhere. Got enough on here that we can, you know, poke that and wiggle on that in there when we bolt that all up tight, and hopefully that'll stay in position. I think it should, with a little bit of encouragement, if you know what I mean. So yeah, we'll see if we can slip the valance in, I think. Yeah, so we can, hopefully, you know, we've got enough, you know, movement here that we can hopefully just slide it in there and get it in. I hope I don't have to take the fender off. If I have to, I'll just undo one of those bolts just to let it come out a little bit further if we need to. But so yeah, we'll give it a bash. Alright, so we're not done it down here yet, obviously, but it's all done up tight around here. The body's not pulled down. We've still got bolts to put in. Still got bolts to put in the air. I've just pulled them up reasonably tight. I'm actually going to put, there's a piece in here that never had a bolt thing in it, so I might put a big washer and put one of those tech screws, big wooden tech screws in there, and just spray a wee bit of black on it, just so it doesn't stand out. Probably won't matter too much. So I got all that in there. I've just started poking the black beading in there, and I just tucked it in behind that corner. I think that looks fucking sharp. I really do. So I'm pretty stoked with that. I'm glad I didn't cut that off here when he wrapped it round. Dad come along and gave me a bit of a hand to nip that into place. So it was good. Sorry about the fucking flare off the sun there. So yeah, I think once we get that all tucked in, that's going to look fucking shit hot. Really wrapped with that actually. So yeah, I'm just not sure where to cut this off. Because it may, we've still got the other pieces to come along here, the little, those little black bits over there. That's the pieces to go along for, you know, for the hood hold downs and whatever. So that's still to go on there yet. So I just don't know whether to run that stuff round underneath them or not, so I won't cut that off. But anyway, that's where we're up to at the moment. Righty, so that's awesome. Obviously still got to put the bolts down through the back. I don't know whether to put some of that frickin' shit down there or not either. Might do. Possibly would finish it off, I guess. You know, I've got it everywhere else. May as well, I guess. But I haven't cut it off here at the front yet, just because I don't know quite where to go with it next, if you know what I mean. Like I said yesterday, we've got those other pieces to come along here, and I just don't know whether it needs to be like that. Then also you've got the front fender stuff as well, so I'll just, whether I can run that through in one strip, if you know what I mean. Bring it along here and then flip it over and in between the, what do you want to call it, this piece, and then the front fender that gets bolted on, then go down past the edge of the valance. It'd be nice if that was all one piece. Well, it needs to be one piece. So I could probably cut it off, 3 or 4 inches long, 5 inches long. That probably wouldn't hurt each side, because obviously I've got it looped from one end to the other. Just because I didn't know where to cut it off, I didn't want to cut it short, but now that I've had a wee think about it, I might grab those pieces. I'd like to pull the body down now, tightly, but I think I'll just sit those pieces on there and just get my head around that piece in the front valance, and just see whether that will, work, to try and get that all in one seam. I think I should be able to. I think I should be able to make that look nice. Be not just nice to have that one piece of flowing, whatever, if you know what I mean. Beating, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, but that looks fucking awesome. I'm a little bit annoyed here, but I think it'll settle down. There's like a bit of a kink in it, where it's been doubled over at some point. But I think it'll come right enough with a bit of heat and whatever. I think it'll straighten out over time. And obviously you've got to pull that in together, make that fit better, all those sorts of things. But yeah, tighten that all up and whatever. And I want to build those extra little sandwich plates, front and back. But I've just got a couple of bolts in there in the meantime, just so I can hold it tight and I could work out exactly what we needed to do there. And I think I probably will. See in here, I might put a washer and one of those same tech screws that I put up through here, and just spray the head of it black before I wind it in. Because it's meant to have a bolt or something in there, but they were never put in there in the body, but they're obviously on the guard, and it's like one of those things I didn't pick up on until we'd done a lot of the body work, and I didn't want to be freaking tearing into it, and it's got to come in through from the inside. So yeah, it's just one of those things I never picked up, but I don't think it'll be a problem. We'll just drill a hole through there nicely and then put it in. So it's easy. It's easy. Most people will never know. But yeah, that looks fucking shit hot. Man, that looks good. Just wish I had the wheels fucking put on the thing. Even just to sit in there just to get a photo. Because it looks like a car now. The back half anyway. And you get rid of that bit. Nah, fuck, that black and the blue fucking just goes so well together. So nice to see the bits together. Really is. Right, we'll grab those other bits and we'll just set them on there. I might give them a quick wash so they're clean, and then set them on there, and we'll just have a wee nosy and just see what my final decision is with these bits to cut this stuff off. Well, that answers that question. It needs cut off back here. So that's cool. You don't know until you put these things on there. So yeah, like I said, these holes will have to be drilled. That one, that one, that one, and that one, and that one. So yeah. And then these pieces here are for the hood anchors. So I need 5 bolts for the, that was right, that 1, 2, yes, I'm 1 extra. Good thing I did make a couple extra screws, painted them. I think there's a little thing that comes up here with a little bump stop too, which I have seen a couple of times. I think I know what that is now. That's cool. Some of those little things you just don't pick up on. But yes, I know where they are. So we'll have to clean them up and paint them at some point. No biggie. I think it'll be just almost get away with. No. You almost get away with. I might actually buy a rattle can of gloss. So we'll find some gloss black because that's not very glossy. That black stuff I've got here is not very glossy. There it is, there. I might just buy, see if I can buy a rattle can of gloss just for a couple of things like that. It's not going to be, it's not seen from the outside because the thing comes up against it. So yeah, that's cool. We'll just get a rattle can of gloss so at least it just blends in. That's cool, that's cool, that's cool, awesome. Yeah. Oh, I know what needs to happen there now, and then we will just have to, the welting will probably just go around the fender like that and then run down. So that's cool. It's all good. Problem solved there. We can chop it off here. Because that comes up right up against there, so it doesn't need to go any further than that, does it? Just snip it off neat. Snip it off neat. Yeah. Job done. Very good, very good. So, there. There, so we'll just have to pull that out and cut it off. So I might just have to jack that a little, we'll just lift the front of the body a little bit, pull it out, and be done with it. We'll do that. May as well. Alrighty, so I decided to clean, wet sand and buff this, and then I jacked the motor very slightly. I probably had to lift it up probably 3/4 of an inch gently, and then slip that in there. So that's cool, it's on, it's bolted down at the front. I've just got these just half nipped up, if you want to, wouldn't say even nipped up, they're just finger tight up underneath there because obviously those other panels here, whatever way around that goes, that way I think. Because these here go on top, I think. Yeah, so that will go on there like that. So that screw will go down through that one. And then screw down on top, so that's why I've got that there. I just got it there so it held it in place while I was mucking around with all that sort of stuff and doing the front up so it didn't, so it's still lined up. So that looks good. All buffed up and clean. Well, you know, all buffed up anyway, and cleanish, ready for the next piece. It looks freaking absolutely, again, absolutely awesome. Looks good. Hard to believe when I first started this here was pre-made, but these pieces here touch the springs, and that edge there was way out like that. I think even that there was a bit like that. So yeah, I had to chop and cut and frickin' screw around to get this thing to fit nicely. I think it's very slightly lower, or very slightly deeper on that side than it is on that side. I think, touch. But it is what it is. By the time everything's on and everything's on there, you're not going to notice it. By the time you get the grill shell, it comes down in there deep. It's going to be, I think, for the little bit of discrepancy in there, and I didn't make it, so, I just try to fix it and make it fit right, and I didn't pick that up until I think it was basically painted, and we sat it on there a couple of times and realised that it is very slightly shorter on that side for some reason. Whether it was when I pulled it in, it didn't quite line up or what. But yeah, it doesn't really matter. It's not super noticeable. Like, for all you're ever going to be looking down there, it is what it is. And it's not pulled down hard, tight or anything like that. It hasn't got the radiator sitting on that. So that will wiggle a little bit when all the weight and everything's back down there, clamped down, whatever. But yeah, she's coming along good. I haven't done much else apart from spent, a bit of time cleaning and wet sanding and buffing that. And then obviously just fitting it. Another little trick, as long as your screwdriver fits in there, I just put a little bit of tape on there so it wasn't a hard edge, hard steel against the slots, just so I could pull them up tight. Just put a little bit of tape on there in the screwdriver. Because I couldn't get them to do it tight without spinning. So yeah, just put a little bit of tape on the screwdriver just so it doesn't damage the paint. But yeah, I was very gentle and watching it quite a bit around the back with all this stuff in here to make sure nothing fouled and pulled and anything silly when I jack that motor up. But yeah, it should be good. Starter button, is poking through, so that moves a bit too. So, but like an inch at the front's probably only a little at the back, and it's on a bracket, so there's enough flex in there that's not going to matter too much. But yeah, it's cool. It's done. It's good. It's on. You move forward Monday. Now, yeah, we'll get, I think Monday, I was going to start those brackets and I thought, I'll put that front piece on, then that's done, and I can bolt the body down. I don't have to worry about screwing around with that or whatever, or jiggling the motor around. Like, I can bolt a lot of things down. I can make those brackets up Monday, bolt that down. I'm going to have to double check my hardware. I think I'm going to have to find some more bolts for this stuff. I thought I had it all, but mate, because I know I pulled stuff off and jiggled stuff around, so I might have thought I had all the bolts, but I'd moved them around. But a lot of the bolts that come out of this, I think I have to double check to make sure they're not floating around somewhere, or they might end up back in amongst the stuff anyway. When I used a lot of bolts in here, the original ones, when I mocked it all up, there might be sure of them floating around. I'll have to have a good hunt and go through a lot of stuff. I'm actually slowly getting rid of some crap now. So it'll be a bit easier to sort some shit out, but I might have to just go buy a few bolts here and there and a few more washers. But that's cool. Yeah, because I'm not going to have enough for the front ones at all. But yeah, we'll start making up these, at least the back brackets Monday, I think. Get them painted, cleaned up, bolted all up tight. Get the, I think I'll wall stick the bit of that stuff down there. Trim it off, and it'll look nice then. I'll try and put that everywhere I can where it looks right. Like, I don't think it'll be around here. I might slip it around there. We'll see. I'll see if I can slip it in around here. When we got that all bolted down, just have it and then pull it around there and run it up to that edge, and then you know, we'll see around that piece. I'm not sure. See what it looks like, and obviously see how much I've got. But yeah, because it smartens it up quite a lot. If I haven't got enough too, I might even, when we finish the running boards, obviously we've got to put some trimming and bits and pieces around that, and obviously some rubber on it or whatever we do. I'll probably put some of that too against the ends of the fenders and the running board of the side balance. I'll probably put a little bit of that in there too. So, yeah, that's cool. We're getting there. It's really coming together now. It's nice to be able to put it together and actually leave it together. It's good. It's good. Another week, you won't know it. Hopefully they don't muck around too long with that bright work. It's a freaking pain in the ass that they said they had it all done and then they'd only done the fucking door handles. To be honest, they could have sent them and just carried on with the rest of the shit. Because, you know, could have put that sort of stuff in. But yeah, you know, we'll carry on. We'll probably see you Monday. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. If this is the end of this video, please like and share and subscribe. Give us a thumbs up, leave a comment, all those sorts of things. Thanks for the views have jumped up quite a bit in the recent videos. I've noticed that some of the probably the last 10 or 15 videos, there's actually some quite good numbers on some of them. Quite a bit more than normal, or sort of usual's been up to sort of now. So it's absolutely excellent. Thanks guys for watching. So yeah, hopefully soon we'll have some car show stuff coming up shortly, like in the next sort of month or so. There's some car shows and runs and events, so yeah, I hope to get to that sort of stuff and get some good footage of that sort of stuff, and give you guys a bit more variety. And then we're not really a lot far away from sort of getting through the thick of this, really. I'm going to run out of work with this quick, so you know, there's still got a little bit to do, a lot of little finishing pieces, but I'm going to probably run out of stuff to do until we get some bits. So hopefully we can get something else in here and get some working on something different. Trying to get that 37 Nash home, but I've still got I've got to get rid of some more shit out of the shed so I can get that home. So we'll do some work on that too shortly. So that'll be coming up. So, you know, probably the first video, we'll probably be trying to get it home and see if we can get the motor repaired and get it running. And then we'll go from there. It like it needs upholstery and all that sort of stuff, but yeah, we'll see if we can get it running and see if it'll move under its own power and just see what we need to do with brakes and whatever else. But yeah, I can't wait to get into that thing. Yeah, and then hopefully, if I can, still do this Dodge and get that in here, because we really are only just a matter of probably a couple of weeks, really. We're going to have the bulk of this done. Like, there's going to lots of little pieces. I can imagine that we're going to have this running very, very shortly. At least test fire it, and then we'll probably just have to wait on the bright work to come back. Wheels, that's probably going to be out of a fucking Achilles heel now. I don't really know what's going on there, but yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching. Please like, share and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers.
Fire away now.